Good sleight of hand with the corn.
Yeah, dude. Let's go to Scream first.
Yeah, Scream first. The prequel to Scream.
Scream first, man.
Scream first. So you're saying you didn't grow up religious at all?
No, I'm technically, well, not technically. I am Jewish because my mom's Jewish.
Gotcha.
But my dad's Catholic, and we never went to. I think I went to Sunday school once or twice with a babysitter. We went to synagogue like 3 times because my cousins are more religious, and they all got bar mitzvahs. So I've been to all their bar mitzvahs.
They got bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, I got bar mitzvahs. It happened to them.
So, do you have a distinct memory of the either the babysitter Sunday school or the synagogue one? Like, how old were you?
Probably I want to say maybe like 4 or 5 for the church one, and not a great memory. I remember just being in a basement with like with a couple siblings and a bunch of young kids.
Yeah,
and like a very pleasant like school atmosphere. And it lasted there for a few hours, and then it's like, all right, time to go home. And I did, actually, one of the few times I've been to churches, I took a musicology class in college at BU, and we had to write a paper on like a Baroque period or whatever, a composer, and she gave us a list, and then she gave us a list of the performances where you could actually see that live coming up, and they're always at churches.
Right, that's where Baroque is still hot.
Yes.
That's where people are still like, what is this, dude?
What? You know that sound you've been looking for?
I found it, man.
Man, it's at this church. So I had to go to a performance, and she told the whole class, she's like, to be respectful, don't just go for the music, go to the service.
Gotcha.
So I was like, okay. So I went to the service, and it was intense. I mean, intense for me. It was actually very enriching and intriguing from an outside perspective. But I remember at the end, you stand up and you say, peace be with you. And I had no idea what that was. So I stood up, and like people were like shaking my hand, and I said, nice to meet you to the first like 2 people. And then I was like, oh man, I think I get it.
We had that. We had peace of Christ. Like, share the peace of Christ.
Share the peace of Christ.
You'd be like, peace of Christ. Peace of Christ. Shake your hand and just go, peace of Christ. Oh, it sounds like pizza crust a little bit.
Pizza crust.
I think that's the stoner coming out a little bit.
Well, so I read, when I was reading something today, actually in the Good Samaritan one, it does say peace be with this house.
Okay.
But is it, the way you just said it, is it peace of Christ? Is it Piece?
Not like a fragment. Like
it is peace of Christ.
Although communion is a piece of Christ.
Yes, okay, that's right. Yeah. So that's pretty much the extent of my religious experience.
Dude, that reminds me. I went to Greece we did like a month study abroad thing. We had just a January term. I went to a Christian college, so naturally we were like, well, we gotta check out some. I mean, ancient churches are really cool. Like that's like the coolest part of going to Europe a little bit. Is like old churches. But we went into like Eastern Orthodox Church, and like their services just are kind of just happening all morning. And you actually, I think people that go to like multiple ones and like say hi to people at different places. But so like I'm like so uncomfortable because I'm like, dude, just being at anyone else's church service is always a little weird. You don't know the order of stuff, and this is like Eastern Orthodox is like super different. And so like, and she's like, our local guide's like, you have to be really quiet and be very respectful. So I'm like, okay, we go inside, and they're like, we're just at the back of the church. I feel like everyone's looking at us, and so my move is like, I'm just gonna sit down. So I just like go sit in the back, and then afterwards, the guy pulls me aside and he's like, you sat in the woman's side.
Oh no,
like, there's a whole side for women.
Oh man, where in Greece was this?
I don't know. It was a blur, man. Okay. I couldn't tell. Maybe in Athens. We went all around.
We recently went to Athens for my younger brother just got married in Crete a couple years ago. So
congrats.
Yeah, congrats to me. Thank you.
Your brother got married. That's so exciting.
Congrats to you for your brother. And we stayed in Athens, and really awesome city. And also there was like they really revamped their tourism. They're like, because post-COVID, they're like, we need tourism because it was bad.
Yeah.
We didn't have it. So they were like so friendly. Everything's bustling and great. And then I traveled through some of Greece in college too when I was studying abroad. So love Greece.
Gorgeous.
Love Euros. Love them.
Yeah, dude. I had multiple. Like part of the study abroad is they wanted you to like actually like interact with locals and stuff, and I found locals were pretty eager to like try out their English too, like depending on where you were.
Yeah.
But so I had multiple. It turned into just sort of like an NBA thing. I would just like I think Giannis was still like on the come up, And I literally I was just talking to a guy at a restaurant. I was like, "How do you say Antetokounmpo?" And he's like, "Antetokounmpo." And I was like, "All right, you're right." I was like, I felt so dumb. He's just sort of like, I said it, and then he said it, and I was like, "Good." So we both know about that guy.
Wait, when were you studying abroad? What year was this?
So 2015 probably, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you by 9. I think it was 9 years before that. So, so because Giannis was probably 12 when I
and already 6'5".
Yes, that's right. I think I probably saw him. Yeah.
That's a. I feel like there's a few different good scene ideas in there. I mean, the idea of congratulating someone for their brother getting married a few years ago is kind of funny. The idea of just trying to bond with a local over just an NBA player you know about. I don't know. Any of that strike your fancy?
Yeah.
We can just incorporate either of those.
Yeah. That sounds great. Hey man, did you put this music on?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, I love Tupac.
You like Tupac too?
Yeah, do you like Tupac?
Yeah, I like
Tupac. Oh my
Tupac.
god, dude, he's so good.
Dude, we love Tupac here in Alaska.
You do?
Yes, dude.
Oh man, I didn't know he really traveled this far.
Yeah. Oh, Tupac is huge in Juneau.
Yeah? Is it because you guys it's dark so long that you guys are just like partying in the club much longer?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all the dark. Yeah. And West Coast, obviously.
West Coast.
It's a West Coast thing. So.
Yeah. Is it what coast is Alaska considered the West Coast?
Yeah, just like way up there. But
oh yeah, but West Coast.
West Side.
West Side.
So yeah.
Damn, that's so cool.
Yeah. What brings you to? Are you from around here?
My sister's getting married.
Your sister's getting married.
Yeah,
that's such a big moment for a brother.
Oh yes, it's a huge moment.
You must be so jazzed. Someone's gonna bang your sister. That's great.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And her husband to be is from Juneau, so
no way.
That's why we're here.
Okay, so it's
everyone's so nice here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Were you born here?
Yep, right here.
Right here?
This building.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't used to be a bar.
What?
This is a converted hospital.
Oh my god!
Which explains a lot of the decor.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! Wow, man. So do you bartend here too? Mm-hmm. You DJ and bartend?
Yeah, man.
In the place you were born?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's cool.
It's like it was fate. A little bit.
That is cool. Do you ever feel like maybe it's like too close to home, like you got too many memories in this place?
Well, I did sort of like I don't know, what do non-Amish people have a term for rumspringa? Like I did a year where I was like wild. I went down to LA actually. That's where I got into Tupac. I lived Silver Springs technically.
Oh yeah, I did
improv.
You did improv?
I did an improv. I went, you've heard of an improv?
Yeah.
I went to one of those. I was good.
Yeah?
But I was like, this life's not for me.
Oh,
I got to go back to Juneau and tend bar at the St. Mary's Free Bed.
Yeah. Well, you're a good bartender.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is your cocktail invention, right?
Yeah, and it's not easy getting the booze out of the IV bags.
I bet. And what a cool little thing going on with that. That's really awesome.
Folks, it's Holy Smokes, where we smoke weed and tell Bible stories. My name's Scoochie Boochie. Ollie Hobson is here. Thanks for doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
How you feeling?
Good.
You did a tiny little puff?
Yeah, I feel a little stoned in the brain.
That's delightful.
Just a little.
What a treat. If you've listened to Scoochie Boochie, Ollie's the narrator in my Space album, Sunrise at Dawn in Space, and in Dad Quest. So we get to enjoy those dulcet tones today.
Scoochie Boochie.
And I was like, no, again.
That was a blast to do those.
Heck yeah. Well, let's tell some Bible stories. What do you say?
Yeah.
We're going to cast lots. Whoever rolls higher goes first. I rolled a 1.
Now, you did tell me cast lots. What is cast lots? I don't really know.
It's the biblical term for what's funny, I actually Googled it because I was like, I know it's to do a little thing of chance to decide who has to do a thing.
Okay.
I think the most famous example is like Jonah and the whale. They're like, we got to throw someone overboard. I think they did. It's like whoever draws the short stick, that kind of thing. And I actually thought about doing dry spaghetti noodles, but I was like, that's kind of hard to see, and I don't want to have that out here.
So it doesn't have to be a dice.
No.
So it's not like
any sort of little thing of chance to decide who's going to do whatever.
Okay. I was like, is this the dreidel version of? Okay, got it. Got it. So you got a 1.
A 3. Okay, you go first.
So
also, if it occurs to you now or anytime in the future, what's a more fun way to cast lots? I have been thinking I got to do something more fun. Okay. But I've just been doing this till we.
Okay, I'll think of that.
Would you rather use the Women's Bible 2 or the Precious Moments Bible for kids? Both are real Bibles.
Let's do the Precious Moments Bible for kids.
It's the translation in that one is the contemporary English version, which we found is pretty laid back and chill. So that's pretty fun. what we're doing. You said Good Samaritan?
Good Samaritan, which you might know it better than I. I feel like it's Genesis, mid-Genesis here.
I think
it might be right around where we are, where this bookmark is.
The Good Samaritan?
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it might be a story that Jesus tells. I think it might be in the New Testament.
Oh, you're right.
But we might have to Google this, actually.
You know what? I can tell you exactly what it is. Let me find it.
I really should know.
Yes, it is Luke.
Yeah, that's...
Is that not in this Bible?
No, it is. It's in the New Testament. It's much further along, though.
I never understood New Testament and Old Testament. I thought they were different versions.
No, they're the two halves of what people just consider the Bible.
Okay.
Man, you're really lost in the wilderness.
Dude, I am so...
That's amazing.
I don't know.
Don't worry, we'll save your bitch ass.
Okay, New Testament stories.
There
great.
We go.
Yeah.
What made you pick this story? I'm curious.
I Googled best stories of the Bible.
Best.
And then looked, best. Yeah, it's very subjective, I suppose. But then I looked at some of them and cross-referenced with what you had not done.
Yeah.
And then I read this one and I was like, okay.
I love that. You're the first person who said, what's the best one? Not funny or crazy. You're just what's good?
The best?
What's really good in the good book?
I feel like I do that with other things and I can't think of what else, but that is exactly what I Googled.
Yeah.
The best stories in the Bible.
All right, this
cool.
is number one.
I see it. So you want me to just read it?
You can, or if you've already read it, you can try to recount it, but just let it rip if you want.
I think I'm going to read it, and then you can stop me and interject if you need to.
One of my favorite things is just sitting around a table with friends playing games. And I feel like it doesn't happen as much as I'd like. It's hard to get enough people and get the space. So a lot of these great games just sit on my shelf unplayed. Well, if you feel the same way and you're in Chicago, I have great news. The Enclave is coming. It's going to be a physical space, a community place to play games. And to help make that dream a reality, they're doing a Kickstarter right now. So head to their website, enclavesocial.gg. Sign up for that newsletter, support the Kickstarter. You can follow them on social media at enclavesocial_gaming. I'm really excited about it. I just want to play some games, and they're going to make an amazing space to do that. So follow them, help out with their Kickstarter, join the newsletter, and thank you to Enclave for supporting Holy Smokes with Scoochie Boochie.
The Good Samaritan. An expert in the law of Moses stood up and asked Jesus a question to see what he would say. Teacher, he asked, what must I do to have eternal life? Jesus answered, what is written in the scriptures? How do you understand them? The man replied, the scriptures say, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. They also say, love your neighbors as much as you love yourself. Jesus said, you have given the right answer. If you do this, you will have eternal life. But the man wanted to show that he knew what he was talking about. So he asked Jesus, who are my neighbors? Jesus replied, as a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, robbers attacked him and grabbed everything he had. They beat him up and ran off, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, but when he saw the man, he walked by on the other side. Later, a temple helper came to the same place. I feel like I need to do this in the Scoochie narrator voice. Yeah. But when he saw the man who had been beaten up,
it's funny, I've never seen you do it live because I'd always just email you and then you just send it back.
He also went by on the other side. A man from Samaria then came traveling along that road. When he saw the man, he felt sorry for him and went over to him. He treated his wounds with olive oil and wine and Scoochie Boochie and bandaged them. Then he put him on his own donkey and took him to an inn where he took care of him. The next morning he gave the innkeeper 2 silver coins and said, please take care of the man. If you spend more than this on him, I will pay you when I return. Then Jesus asked, which one of these 3 people was a real neighbor to the man who was beaten up by the robbers? The teacher answered, the one who showed pity. Jesus said, go and do the same.
Lovely. What's your first response to that? What did you think reading it? Did you know the story beforehand?
I did not know the story. I feel like maybe I had heard. I knew the
phrase.
I knew the phrase, and I knew it was from the Bible.
Yeah.
But I think when I read it, it was like, oh, that's simple. I like that. I don't know. I was like, that's a simple idea, and of course, I don't know. Of course, it's in the Bible.
Yeah, dude. There was a lot of stuff that jumped out to me that I did not remember. I didn't realize the context was some guy was trying to flex on him. That actually happens a lot in the New Testament where people are trying to test Jesus. Once he's famous for being wise, they're like, what about this? And then they was just shits on him with a little story.
Do you think that's a byproduct of the people that quote unquote translated these stories to be like, we know there's going to be naysayers reading this, and we're putting you, the narrator, as the naysayer, and we have to be like, no.
I know what you're thinking. I feel like there might be some of that. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about like why some of these stories are in there, because there was one where it was just like, you know, somebody talked shit to like a holy man, and then they got murdered, and there was no consequences for the holy man. Which I feel like if you were like like a you know, priest or whatever, and you're just trying to get the kids to shut the fuck up, you might throw that one in there. Yeah. Just be like, you know, one time one of us struck down 42 youths, no problem. So just keep that in mind.
What when you, can I ask you, like, as someone who went to church a lot, like, what going through these again or rereading these?
Yeah.
Do you have like a personal connection to these stories, or is it like it just feels like stuff that's in a book that you're?
That's a good question. I mean, you taught them, you know, pretty early on. Like, I'm sure I did like a coloring page of this story before, and I was probably getting busy with the red crayon, showing how badly he got beat up. Like, that's the funny thing about the Precious Moments Bible specifically, is like there's like really cutesy drawings in there too, and it's like just like the sweetest little cherubs, and then it still has like the Bible, so like folks are being beaten half to death. I'm not answering your question at all, but that beaten half to death is funny because I was just picturing like only the top half of his body was out of commission, but his legs were still
his legs are perfect. Man, he's got some nice legs.
He's doing like when dogs are dreaming about running, he's just
his legs are so nice that no one even notices that he's beat to shit from the top. Look at those legs, man.
He's doing a full like Olympic run with them, just swooshing around.
You can tell me if I should stop asking questions like this, but
no, please.
I'm mostly just curious. Like when you're in Bible, what do you call it? Bible studies, Bible school. When you're a kid, what is it called?
In the morning, it's Sunday school for like an hour, and then there's the church service.
Cool. So when you're a young kid and you're in Sunday school and you're going through, I assume you're going through stories of the Bible.
Yeah.
Is it like, you mentioned there's like coloring and stuff like that. Is there a lot of added activities to make it more playful? So like, it's sort of like a fun activity you're doing with your friends rather than just like, we need to learn this story. Okay.
And that's a smart approach, because it's also just a strategy to like keep these kids in check for an hour.
Yeah.
You know? So it was a ton of glue stick work. I'm nice with the glue stick. Elmer's glue also. I kind of hate glue though, low key. Over time, it's pretty gross.
I hated collages. I don't know what it is. Something about them. My girlfriend loves them. I hate them.
You see him on like Instagram or whatever, and it's like just put like a way too big of a mouth on somebody, and you're just like,
come on. No, I think it's just the process, because I was an art major, and so as a lot of projects throughout middle school, all through college, like you have to do collages because it makes sense. And then we both probably have this, but getting into hip hop in college, it's basically it's collage but audio.
Wow.
Which I was like, well, I like this, nice. But so it's not the concept of collage.
It's doing them.
I think maybe it's glue.
And it might just come down to glue, dude.
It's glue. I think it's also messy. I think as an artist, I like very clean. And when I was a painter, I was a painting major, and I remember being. Every painting class is like 3 hours long, and you're just painting, and then the teacher comes by and they talk about your stuff and what you're doing, and then they leave you alone and you keep painting.
Yeah.
And one of the teachers was like, every time I come over here, like, your station is like too clean. It's like you need to get messy. It's like this is like there's no paint on you. Like, look how I was like, what?
And you're like, this is beautiful. The canvas is spotless.
Yeah. You've been here for 4 hours. You haven't done anything.
Yeah, it's immaculate.
Yeah, but I think because my girlfriend would say it's because I'm a Virgo, but I think it's I think it's the messiness of collage.
Yeah, and you get all those little, like, just the tiny little shreds from, like, when you cut around, there's only this much page or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tons of glue stick. The best was when they'd break out the sandbox. It was, like, basically just, like, a wide, big, like, Tupperware type container that had this, like, nice sand in it. And they'd use it as, like, a visual aid with these little wooden figurines, like, these silhouettes you could, like, stick in there.
Yeah.
And you could, like, comb little paths. Kind of like a little rock garden type deal.
Yeah.
I was always pumped for that. That was cool.
Yeah.
And occasionally some like Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah, that's right.
That's like basically like Jesus coming back for us. That's like the best.
Is the company who makes Krispy Kreme, are they Christian?
Probably, dude. I don't know.
Gotta be.
Like those like Jesus commercials that were in the Super Bowl. That's Hobby Lobby's behind that.
I knew Hobby Lobby was religious. I didn't know. Oh, so the one that's Jesus.
He gets us. Yeah.
Oh, the one with feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came up
I was like,
yesterday,
what
too.
is this?
The feet made everyone be like, dude, what?
What is this? And then, so when you're being in Sunday school and stuff, were you like up and through, how old were you when you stopped going to Sunday school?
Like, well, they have versions of it for all ages.
Yes.
So, like, middle school, Sunday school, etc. And the adults are even doing it. But, like, sometimes we just wouldn't go because it was earlier. So maybe a little bit less in high school. But pretty much the whole time growing up, like all the way through high school and stuff.
And did you have a lot of friends from Sunday school or love interests or like crushes and stuff?
Dude, that's the weird thing is like my church was like pretty small. And my year in particular, there was just like almost no people. It was literally me and Cal for like most of like elementary, middle school.
Cal's a buddy?
Yeah, just the whole. We both started off in the same mold of like little doughy fella, respectfully, but now he's a monster. He got like 6'3" and like yoked and like really good at soccer. And I was like, dang, we were having the exact same stuff. And I feel like we started from the same like starter Pokemon of a build, and now he's just killing it.
He's a 10 on the on the scale.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, so it's like, I didn't really have a ton of like, none of my best buds were church buds. It was all through school. So it was pretty much just like my brother and sister. And like, so we would just like, we kind of just wanted to, like, especially when church was over, our parents always had to talk to everybody because that's where all their best homies were. Yeah. We were just out in the parking lot, like throwing rocks back and forth or whatever.
Yeah, my assumption about it is just that I'm asking this because I feel like in my town, I remember people that were in it, and it just looked like a really great social thing for kids. I mean, kids or middle school people. And just like a lot of girls I had crushes on were in church with like friends of mine. And I was like, man, like part of me wishes I was like, in church with that.
Girls love the Lord, dude. It's huge. Like, that's why I tell my brother, because I'm like, dude, you just stay in church, man. You're 6'4" and you go to church and you're a dude. Like, it's like living in Sweden kind of deal where it's just like, there's just so many more girls. I feel like the guys, that's just eye test. I don't know if that's true, but
that's how they hook you up.
And then you have to have it. You have to, but then you can't do anything until marriage, and then you have kids immediately. So it's, I don't know. It's exactly what it is. Yeah, man. Yeah, Sunday school, like, and this is one of the more famous stories for sure. This one's up there.
The Good
Clear
Samaritan.
moral stories, like being nice and helping people. Yeah. And like, so we'd read pretty hardcore stories and stuff, but it always somehow was like, and Jesus loves you, even though you're a sinner. That was kind of what it all was always connected to. So. Yeah.
And what is your denomination?
It was Presbyterian, which
that's not very big on the guilt the way Catholic.
Yeah, there's the Presbyterian and like the whole sort of Reformed side of things. That's like Calvinism and stuff. There's a lot. They're very big on like the original sin, like you are born grubby little guy. But
what did you say?
Grubby little guy. A grubby little guy.
Oh,
but then like Jesus forgives you. But then there's like if you go away. But then, there'd be stories about like someone on their deathbed being like, "Psych, I do believe he'll still like save you." So, and then we would shit on Catholics for what we'd call works righteousness. Like they're all about like to get into heaven, you have to like be obedient. But we're not. We're chill like that. We're about just like Jesus died for it. He did it.
Yeah.
And we suck, which is pretty motivating. I feel like there's a lot of. I don't know if Mormon. There's a lot of really successful Mormons, and that's a pretty different tradition. But it's like. Is it just because like they're just told they suck so much that they're like this super humble no matter how good they get at like writing fantasy novels? Brandon Sanderson, hitting home runs, Bryce Harper, you name
Bryce
it.
Harper's Mormon? Yeah, I didn't know that.
he's like it's weird. You don't picture fiery Mormons, but he's like a hothead Mormon.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just looking through a handful of like skimming through some stories today, I was thinking about my relationship with the Bible, which is very minimal, but thinking of. Oh yes, the stories, or like the message of it, makes a lot of sense and like seems helpful. And then I was thinking, anytime like there's so much good messaging in a Bible, but then and then how much war is based off like you need to believe this too. It makes no sense to me. But
it's so true, dude. There was so much growing up of being like pointing out like a bunch of the stories in the Bible are just like God's people like go astray and like just don't do what they're supposed to, and then he has to like bring them back but then like there's like the modern version of that where like our church would be like, look at how these other churches are fucking up, they're not doing like the right thing. And that's how you end up with so many denominations where it's like they're not quite doing it right or whatever. So then it puts you in the mind frame of like kind of like picking at like what these human institutions are doing wrong. And that's eventually going to hit your church also. So I feel like they kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That is interesting. So you said your denomination is you're born with sin.
Yeah.
Is that
Original sin.
Original sin.
OG.
But that's different than some other denominations. Like, do they all sort of think you're born with sin?
I mean, I think that's pretty consistent across most Christian denominations. We're just like
Grubby little guys.
Really grubby little guys. It's just a big point of emphasis, I feel like, for us. You might not get that as much in other denoms.
Yeah.
You know, just seeing it's just like grubby little guys.
Grubby little guys, yeah.
GLGs.
Sure, yeah.
Oh man. Man. What movie are we gonna see, man?
Oh man. I'll tell you what, whatever we're seeing another one right after. We're not paying.
Yeah, man. I don't want to pay. I'm not paying, man.
Fuck AMC language.
Dude, you want popcorn?
Yeah, man.
Dude. Okay, you distract the guy. I'm just gonna grab some popcorn.
Oh, I know the drill. We never pay.
Yeah, man.
$2.59 for popcorn.
Because we're grubby little guys.
All right, I'm gonna distract him real quick.
Okay.
Can I help you? Sir. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to stop doing that.
Body roll.
Sir.
Mud on my tummy.
Sir.
Body roll. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Nice work, man. Good job, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Good sleight of hand with the corn.
Yeah, dude. Let's go to Scream first.
Yeah. Scream first. The prequel to Scream.
Scream first, man.
Scream : first. Oh man.
Yeah, I hope I don't get too scared though.
Oh yeah. No, we're grubby, but we're like weak.
I'm scared. Yeah, I'm a little scaredy cat.
You could be grubby and a little scared.
I actually haven't seen the original Scream.
No, I've only seen the Scream where at the start it's a screening of a Scream type movie. This is real, and everyone's dressed as the Scream guy, and then someone for real gets stabbed, and someone's really doing the Scream thing.
Dude, you just saying that makes me sort of scared.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We gotta watch our backs if we do that. What if we just saw like the I Dinosaur? The sequel to the Good Dinosaur, the I Dinosaur.
I Ate Dinosaur.
Yeah,
yeah,
the slogan.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like because like I don't think anyone's gonna stab us in there.
Yeah, I will say animated movies, man, they're a little creepy. Because like,
where's the grub?
Where's the
grub? They're not grubbing like
no, they're not grubbing like grubby little guys, man.
It's too clean. Honestly, like. Oh, in anime movies, I hate when they get all wet, like in The Incredibles.
Oh, dude,
I hate
crash. When characters get wet.
They get all up out of the water, and it's just like almost too Avatar Way of Water. I almost shot the screen.
No, I can't even watch it.
Okay, well, what else could we see?
We could see, Reservation Road is playing.
I don't like movies I don't know anything about.
Okay, we could play.
Wait, what is it?
Reservation Road.
I wanted to shoot it down for any reason, and I had zero info.
Oh, man, I don't know too much about it. I think it's like a period piece from the 30s. I can't stand Americans of the 30s.
Period pieces, what pisses me off about those is they're always a little grubbier than present day, but they could be grubbier. You tell me the Black Plague wasn't as grubby as me? Yeah, right.
We love grubby stuff, man. We really.
And how little are we? Do you picture?
I'm pretty small. I mean, I'm at least 2'5". At least. I feel like I'm gonna have a growth spurt soon.
Really?
Yeah, my dad's 2'9".
Okay, so it runs in your family.
Yeah.
My dad is 1'8".
1'8"?
Little guy.
He is a grubby.
So he calls me a string bean. I'm 2'3".
Damn.
Like a zone.
Like a zone. Oh, man. I'm actually pretty full from that one piece of popcorn.
We'll be right back.